This playoff season, there's only one place where we'll bet, Fanatic Sportsbook. Yes, they're our presenting sponsor, but it doesn't make sense to bet anywhere else if you're a sports fan. When you bet, you earn fan cash, win or lose, which means that your bets get you closer to accumulating fan cash for authentic jerseys, hats, memorabilia, and more. Winning hits different with fan cash. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut residents call 800-789-7777. Massachusetts residents call 800-327-5050. New York residents call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland residents visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Hey there, Knicks fans. It's your boy, Jonathan Macri, with you for a special post-game edition of the Knicks Film School Podcast. It's not actually following a game, but it kind of is. Presented, of course, by our friends at Fanatic Sportsbook. I'm here with Andrew Claudio. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, John.
You want to explain what we're doing here?
I figured I would have to, since it's partially my fault, but also partially nobody's fault.
Nobody's fault.
Here is the deal. Everybody probably... I'm assuming if you're a partaker of Knicks Film School content, you saw how long of a show we did on Friday night after the Knicks won Game 6 and advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since the year 2000. Well, we are very thankful for the generosity of people in our community. All of it means the world to us. And there were a ton of super chats sent in during the game, some even before the game. And the service that we use had a malfunction and only pushed over to us when we showed up to do the show, the super chats that came in after the game. So there's about 57 super chats that we missed, and we wanted to make good with people with a special edition of the Knicks Film School post-game show 4 days later. On the day of Game 1, and we'll put them on the screen for everybody. So we'll go through them now if it's okay with everybody.
I think it's a happy accident because, look, I think we all did a good job imbibing, I think that's the right word, in the vibes for a solid day to 2 days after Game 6, and then I think we did a equally good job turning our attention over to the Pacers and the series that lies ahead. I mean, I'm so incredibly proud of all of the content that we've put out here on Knicks Film School. Everybody across the board previewing the series and the guests that we've had come on to help preview it and all of that stuff. And I feel like everybody's ready. And now that we're ready and we got Game 1 tonight, we could take an extra minute to just, make sure the vibes are extra good heading into Game 1 at Madison Square Garden. Let me see if I could do this off the top of my head. The first Game 1 of an Eastern Conference Finals played at Madison Square Garden since it wasn't 2000. It was not 1999.
Keep going.
Since 1994.
That would be correct.
31 years. And we won that one.
We did.
We did win that one. Okay.
Won Game 2 as well.
Won Game 1, won Game 2, and then lost 3 straight. Yeah.
Yep. Infamous Game 5. Shout out to Spike Lee. But thank you, John Starks, for Game 6.
That's funny. The Knicks had 2 consecutive Eastern Conference Finals where they lost at least 3 consecutive games because they lost 4 straight to the Bulls the year before that. That wasn't fun.
That was fun. I know a lot. I'm sure a lot of people in 1994 were feeling deja vu all over again. That Game 6 needs to be remembered. Oh, Game 6 in Indiana.
That's as part of Sunday.
But as the part of John Stark's legacy is what I'm saying. That he absolutely more is associated with Game 7 in '94. Of the finals, and that Game 6 made the finals possible. So
It's
context. That's all.
No, it's important context. And Ewing, I mean, look, Ewing gets all the flowers for that series because of his Game 7 performance and then the "See You Sunday" quote. But you're right; both of those things overshadow Starks' Game 6. In any case, we're going far afoul here. Yeah, so we'll do the rest of the super chats today here on this show, and we'll sprinkle in some final Game 1 thoughts at some point, maybe towards the end or along the way. Play it by ear.
Sounds good. So let's start with this super chat came in around 5 p.m. on game day, and it's how a lot of the post games have started. Go ahead, John.
With Nickhead, let's go Knicks. Yeah, Nickhead, all I got to say to you is please keep sending these in because the Knicks are still playing, and you've now made this a little tradition. So as far as I'm concerned, you're the reason the Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I'll take it. Next up.
Another one from Nickhead. Let's get this done, baby. Let's freaking go. They did indeed get it done in grand fashion. Although I was thinking about it today, I actually think Game 4 was their Game 4 performance was better. I just want to throw that out there than their Game 6 performance. Game 6 was legendary for all the reasons, but like the mano a mano with Tatum, I think set Game 4 apart for me.
Okay. I get the distinction you're making. Beating the Celtics with Tatum was more satisfying than beating the Celtics without Tatum. I thought they played kind of perfect on Friday and like didn't shoot the 3 fine, but they took the fourth quarter off in game.
This is true.
Whereas the first 3 quarters were pretty dominant in game 6 as opposed to the first half of game 4 where they got down 16. But
they did because they couldn't.
You're making, yeah,
because they couldn't buy a shot. But yeah, all right. Thanks. Now Mr. Hernandez, Mitchell Robinson, bunch of exclamation points. I ended up going with Mitchell Robinson for my player of the series in the newsletter. Shout out to Substack. I wrestled with it though. Between him and Jalen Brunson. And I don't think either guy is a wrong answer. I think they're both right answers. Dan Hidalgo, if they could defend like this, they can beat anyone. Andrew, do you think the defensive end of the floor or the offensive end of the floor is more, I don't say it's more important because they're obviously both important, but like, what's the bigger pressure point for you in the series?
Defensive. Yeah. If you could slow down their transition, then your offense still has to be good, but doesn't have to be it's not as much of an emergency that you're trying to outscore the Pacers. If you can slow them down, it's okay, especially transition, like slowing their pace down matters the most to me in this series.
Yeah, I'll put it this way: if they defend, they're going to win the series. If they have a great offensive series, they could still lose the series.
That's a good way to put it.
Rafa, what's going on? Rafa was the one who was always angry. Ed Malloy can FOH. We all know what that means. Adam Silver ain't slick. Let's freaking go, New York. I have no issue with any refs other than what's his face?
Zarba. No, not Zarba. We're blanking on the ref.
The guy for the Houston game.
Yeah. Someone in the chat remind us who was the ref for the Houston game that called that bogus foul on Jalen.
Does his last name start with a G?
I'm blanking. I'm totally blanking.
I don't know.
Not Scott Foster.
No, it's not Foster.
In the chat.
Anyway, get to the next.
I'll pay attention to the chat. Go ahead, next one.
Mr. Hernandez, Deuce. Yes, Deuce. Another guy
Gotta extend it.
Oh,
Deuce.
I don't have to because you did. Another guy in strong consideration for a star after the last series. I couldn't justify it just because of the minutes, which is not his fault, obviously. He was a absolute star in his minutes, but because he didn't play that much, and I understand Mitch didn't play that much either, but I saw Mitch's impact was outsized. They don't win this series without Deuce McBride doing what he did. Absolutely not. He was instrumental.
Jason Goebel is the name of
Goebel, that's it. I knew it started with G.
Yeah. Next up.
Dan Hidalgo again. Someone tell Davey Boy to stick to pizza. New York in 6. I want to shout out my my brother-in-law CJ. He doesn't consume any of Barstool's sports content, but he does follow Portnoy for his pizza recommendations, and he periodically is like, "Hey, have you heard of this pizza place? You know, in Brooklyn or wherever?" I have never followed any advice that Dave Portnoy has given.
I told you I went to Pizza Fest at the Brooklyn
You did.
Cyclones of Stadium a couple of years ago, where Dave had all of the local, or not local, I should say, because it was all 5 boroughs and some from Philly and Connecticut and Boston, but there's like 50 restaurants that made a trip, had a little pop-up shop in the stadium and all over the stadium on the field, and you went and you had one bite, and it was fun to go with people who actually religiously partake the content.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, let's do our ratings and what would this be? And it's pizza. That's what it is. I'm just so not that picky with pizza. Like a bad pizza slice, I'll give a 5, but they're like, oh, this is a 8.2. Oh, but this is a 6.7. It's like they're all 8s. Like it's pizza. And it was raining that day, so you were able to, like, the pizza was just keeping me warm at a certain point. But yeah, Pizza Fest was fun.
I appreciate pizza more than you, but I don't know that I'd be able to differentiate between like an 8.1 and an 8.4. The great thing about pizza is, even though it's like pizza's pizza, it could be very different, which is what I appreciate it.
So
anyway,
we gotta get you at a Pizza Fest is what I hear. So you can actually give us the. So I'm actually curious what your appetite would be. Like, could you do? I like pizza.
Yeah, sure, I could.
Okay.
Look, I once ate 8 Sicilian slices of L&B in one sitting. It's still my proudest accomplishment as a human being. No, I used to do wing fests a lot, and I do consider myself something of a wing connoisseur. That I'll give you like an 8.1 versus an 8.5 or whatever.
Next up,
Dylan DeAndrea, the deuce is loose. Bring out the Grey Goose. I've never heard that before.
That was good. The rhyme of Grey Goose, deuce, and loose. Well done.
Well done. Jonathan Francois, savor this moment and enjoy it tonight. I enjoyed that night. The next day we had a prior obligation to go out to Long Island to visit my wife's family, and I dozed my way through that experience. It was nice.
We had similar days, not in the sense of having to go out to, like, you went out to Long Island with your family, but we both had obligations. Like I've told people, I went to Yankee Stadium on Saturday from Mets Yankees, and the hope was that I wouldn't have to drive there, or that getting in or out of the Bronx would be an easy occasion. It was not. Shout out to Yankee Stadium for just closing off 161st and
you can't drive to Yankee Stadium.
So I learned that lesson. Now, as someone who drives to Citi Field often, because shout out to parking lots, it's very easy to drive to Citi Field. Unfortunately, Yankee Stadium, they just had a town. There was residential buildings everywhere, and they're like, hey, you know what we should do? Just put a big ass stadium here. And oh, don't worry, we'll put 3 parking garages very spaced out. That should make traffic totally easy. 2.5 hours getting home will just be the norm if you're leaving a game.
What you have to do is, there's a parking lot up in it's right next to the DA's office. I only know that because I interned at the DA's office for a summer. And you go down, it's cheap. You have to walk, 7-8 minutes, whatever it is, down to the stadium, but it's the most reasonable way to do it. If you get to the point with Mets therapy where you're printing out t-shirts, I think, because there's so many freaking Mets slogans out there, I think shout out the parking lots should be the slogan for Mets therapy.
So what you're saying is that that's good advice for the next time I go to Yankee Stadium. Okay, I have advice for Yankee Stadium. If it's possible, build a parking lot. It's plain and simple. It's a big ass stadium. You're like the most popular franchise in the sport. Dodger Stadium has a parking lot. It's like a whole hill. Now there's also
in the middle of nowhere.
It's also stupid traffic downtown in LA that happens, but I just build a parking lot. That's my advice. Uncle Steve Cohen, the plans for that Flushing area when you build the casino and the soccer stadium are to build parking garages. Please adjust. I don't want to lose my parking lot. That's just my personal opinion. So thank you. And
thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan. Next up.
Just so focused. John, who do you think the Knicks are trading Mitch for next season? Do you think his salary will be useful to a championship contender? What say you? Man, this is what I get for pre-writing articles. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but like when it gets down to a certain time of year, and I have like a day where I can't write anything for the next day because there's a game that night. I'll try to pre-write something that I know I'll be able to use. And like several months ago, I wrote in like a salary cap, like a summer look ahead that I was gonna release during the season. It was never a right time, and I'm like, I'll save it for the off or like an immediate off-season preview. And the whole crux of the thing is Mitch is basically their only, fun like movable salary. That article will not be seeing the light of day.
There's a lot of content plans that we're scrapping as a result of this run to the conference finals and potentially further, but for a good reason. So we'll take it.
Thanks, John. Dan Hidalgo with another one. Allen Houston looks like he could be Russell Wilson's father. That's actually not a bad call. I'm glad these are the things my mind is free to wander to. You and me both.
New York Giants quarterback, Russell Wilson.
There you go.
Former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going in the. I don't know. The Steelers have a Ring of Honor. I'm assuming
they do. The Ring of Honor. Okay. I actually don't know about the Steelers Ring of Honor, but most football teams have a Ring of Honor.
Yeah, whatever. He's not going to be there. Bill Peterfriend, what's going on, Bill? I just got to your email earlier today. Thank you for sending that along, or yesterday maybe. Screw next season. Let's win the chip this season. I think that's the prevailing sentiment. Shoot, I don't have a drink. Zach Lowe nailed it after Game 5 when he talked about the window. The window's wide open. There is no window. It's just a big hole. Like, you got to walk through it. Pacers, it's going to be tough, but opportunities like this don't come around very often. Nick Head with another one. Thank you, Nick Head. Look at what this team is capable of when they want it. This is Knicks basketball. Let's fucking go, baby. Our time. Sorry, Macri. You don't got to apologize. There's another thing I was thinking of earlier today. They have been obviously very inconsistent this season and very inconsistent in these playoffs as recently as Game 5. What I am encouraged by going into the Eastern Conference Finals, talking about when they want it. They've lost 4 games in these playoffs. In their performances immediately following 3 of those games were unquestionably their best performances of the postseason. Game 3 against the Pistons, Game 4 against the Celtics, and Game 6 against the Celtics. I can't quite put Game 6 against the Pistons in that category, although I do think they came out with the right level of seriousness and like they went up early in that game, and then they just kind of, as they tend to do sometimes, let it get away from them in the third quarter. But then they came back and won. So it's just very clear that they could dial it up, and it's just a matter of dialing it up. Let's hope that they don't have to lose a basketball game to dial it up in this series. Jonathan Francois with another one. Thank you, Jonathan. Call the fight, John. Call the fight. You can do it. I called in when PJ came in with like 4 and change to go.
Yes, that's when you called the fight.
That's when I called it.
We shout out to Mensa. He showed up at halftime of the watch along, and I could see you slowly start to relax and like, oh, okay. They're up by 30. They're up by 35. They're up by almost 40. And it turned into a party in the second half, which was fun.
When it got over 30, I relaxed. I did relax. But even then when it got 41 and then they went on an 11-0 run.
Yeah, right. To cut it to 30, John.
Yeah, but I was still like, all right.
Missoula also pulled the starters.
I know.
At 41. So it was good to see all of the neurosis and nervous tendencies that usually show up with the Knicks. And look, I tweeted out at halftime, they're up 27 and I'm still nervous. And a lot of Knicks fans like, yep, right there with you. Job not finished. And shout out to the roommates pod. They talked about how they went out there with a mission for Game 6. And the way we reacted to them going up 41 with that play that led to the OG3 was also how they reacted going up 41, especially to how loud the Garden ended up being, which the only building we now know is the Garden, by the way,
Thank
John.
God. Mr. Hernandez with another one. The absolute catharsis of this game. Yeah, it's a good word for it. I personally could have also used that word catharsis for Game 4, just because we had been waiting, we've been waiting for the complete game, and then they finally gave us the complete game, and then they gave us another one. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Smitty, thank you for the contribution, Smitty. JD, thank you, JD. The Cavs Doom newsletter felt like just yesterday. Crazy how far they've come. Now let's shock the world. The Cavs Doom newsletter JD is referring to, came after the Cavs lost, they lost the Cavs on the second to last game of the regular season. It was a Friday night, which was a cool, if albeit stressful and somewhat annoying day for us. The night of the Iman that we did the Iman Shumpert interview.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And then, like, it had been a long day. Again, a rewarding day, cool day, but a long day. And we were just like, all of us just wanted to relax and enjoy, preferably a good basketball game, them putting the Pistons fourth quarter debacle behind us, and a debacle that I famously laughed off, and a lot of people got on me for laughing off. They're like, I don't know if you should be finding this so funny. And then it was great. And then how many were there? They were up by what, 26 on the Cavs?
I don't know if it got up to 26. It definitely got over
21.
I think 21 sounds right. I'll go pull up the game.
Whatever, it was 20 something. It's the biggest lead they've lost of the Thibodeau era. That's, I mean, easily.
No, it's not. The Nets game, the infamous Nets game.
Oh my God!
Yes.
Sorry, of the Brunson era.
Brunson era. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yes.
No, they lost a lot of big leads in that season. And I something that night kind of snapped. Like it snapped, but it didn't snap all the way. I personally, just speaking for myself, I snapped all the way after Game 5 against Detroit. That was when I fully snapped, and I was like, "This fucking team just doesn't know what's good for it." So there, I had a few moments down the stretch of the season, but we're here now. So
23 was the largest lead, by the way.
There you go. Crazy.
How far we've come.
Ray, what's going on, Ray? My buddy Ray Marcano. Lost in all this, the Celtics have only scored 43. I don't know when this was. Maybe halftime, after halftime. And dudes, man up on the booze. Wine, good Lord, I have a 25-year bourbon waiting for me. I couldn't do the bourbon that early because I needed to. I knew I had a long night ahead.
So the Celtics got to 43. It was a Derek White 3 to make it 69-43. Nice. And then the Knicks went on an 11-0 run to make it 80-43. And then eventually got to the infamous, well, now notorious 92-51 moment, which is when Missoula pulled all his starters.
There we go.
In the third quarter.
Jonathan Francois with another one. Pope Leo doing his thing. How is Pope Leo doing so far? Is he doing a good job?
I don't think he's. I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know if he's officially like the Pope yet, or if there's an inauguration for the Pope, or is that official? Has that officially happened?
An inauguration?
I don't know the Catholic process. I don't. In Pastor Hiram's denomination, they just say you're a pastor, and then you're a pastor. I don't know if there's no conclave for the process to become a pastor. For a Pope, they got to go through rounds of voting and election. So I don't know how Pope Leo is doing was the answer to your question.
I'll be in Italy this summer. Shout out to my mom and turning 75 and giving us an excuse to go to Italy. I may have to make a detour to Vatican City if this thing goes a certain type of way.
Yeah, and ask him how'd you like the Knicks, even though he's apparently a Bulls fan.
Oh, that sucks.
Well,
okay.
Chicago, but have you seen the World Series thing with him? Are you aware of this at all?
I have no idea.
2005, the White Sox make the World Series. They're in the 9th inning of Game 1. They're playing the Astros, and the camera like shows crowd shots throughout the game. They caught Pope Leo in like a White Sox windbreaker when back then he was just Leo, but he was on screen.
He was not Leo. He was whatever his real name is.
Oh, true. That's right.
He adopted
again,
Leo.
You now see how my knowledge of the Catholic Church goes, how far that goes. This man was on screen, like sweating out the 9th inning in 2005, and now 20 years later, he's the Pope.
Bobby Chicago. Shout out to Jess.
Bobby Chicago. There you go. That's his name. So yes, that exists. Apparently, big baseball fan, Pope Leo. Next up.
All right. Sergio Escobar. What's going on, Sergio? Na 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 na. You want me to say the actual song? Na 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 na. Hey. Goodbye. There we go. Well, the Garden was singing it, so that was nice.
That was such a cool moment. Yeah.
I don't know that I've ever heard that before.
The Garden doing it. Shout out to who was on the keyboards that night, who was on the organ. Because the chant starts because the organ starts playing it, and then the Garden joins in. So that was cool.
Dan Hidalgo with another one. JB has that job's not done look in his eyes. But a lot of comments about that over the last few days, how they, after the game was over and how he acted and, you know, in the locker room and even on the roommates pod, I think, you know, Matt Hillman asked him and Josh about like, how do you deal with like the fans are so happy? And, you know, I think that both of their answers were exactly what you'd want to hear. I mean, it is very clear that those two guys, at least, I don't speak for anybody else. Those two guys know that like we're halfway. You know, that's where they're at. Dan with another one. No moment is too big for JB. Superstar trait. Man, again, shout out to all the Substack readers. I did a Q&A, a Macri mailbag today for the newsletter, and somebody asked basically like, you know, what advantages do the Knicks have? Like we hear all about the Pacers' advantages. What advantages do the Knicks have in this series? Like what gives you confidence? And Brunson's just his existence is my number one. Like the fact that he's there, and like the other part of it is, you know, looking back, you look back at just conference finals, year after year after year of conference finals. When a team gets this far and they have the best player, and it is like pretty clearly the best player in the series, they don't really lose. Now, is there a world where after the series we're like, hey, you know, people are like, hey, Tyrese Halliburton, he showed up and he, you know, it was him who's the best player in the series, not Jalen Brunson. Yeah, sure. And then the Knicks will probably have lost that series. But if JB comes and performs like we are, I think JB is going to come and perform, and he solidifies that he's the best player in the series. I just, you know, I think they're going to win.
I agree.
Thanks, Dan. Jessica, who's watching right now. So there's these small hotels where the guys who are there are reaching out to other guys who are incredibly, specifically very smart. In some inns, some me.
In some inns, some men, some in, some Mensa men. Let's go Knicks ECF.
Jess, you have a way with words that I will never I approximate. I write a newsletter every day, and I cannot match you. I just say that.
Well done, Jessica. Good to see you last night. We had our town hall.
Manny Campos, what's going on? Manny, fuck them picks. Boston shooting bricks. Bring on the Hicks. Let's go Knicks. That was good.
Bars.
I need the fuck them picks guy from Brooklyn to have a very good series. I think he's a fairly important cog here. Lito, what's going on, Lito? Give me playoff Dottier minutes. Who I don't even remember who closed the game. It was Kolek, Tucker, Dottier, Huck
Precious
Porty.
got out there. Precious got out there. I know that much. Was
Huck
it Payne?
Porty definitely got time.
So was it Payne, Shamit, Huck Porty, Precious, Kolek? So I don't think we got Pacome minutes. You know what? I got the box score in front of me. Let me find out.
Here,
I gotta scroll down until I see when Tibbs actually subbed in a bench player. Go ahead.
Anthony Sixto, what's going on, Anthony? That's our basketball team. That was our basketball team. Took a while to fully show up, but they're showing up now.
Tom Thibodeau.
What?
So
what?
8:22 left. Precious Achiuwa subs in for Jalen Brunson. OG Anunoby subs in for Josh Hart.
I know.
Carl Anthony Towns subs in for Mitchell Robinson. The score is 108-64. Excuse me, 104-68. So it was closer than I realized.
36, man. 36-point lead isn't what it used to be.
So it was Precious. And then I got to scroll all the way down.
What'd you score the box score?
I'm in the box. No, I'm saying like, okay, you could see the. It was more fun to see.
It's all the guys that played 1 minute.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. PJ Tucker, Precious Achiuwa, Cam Payne, Landry Shamit, Tyler Kolek. So no Huck Porty.
I could have sworn Huck Porty. All right, I guess I'm wrong.
We were busy naming obscure Knicks of the past at that point on playback.
Robert W. Cross, first time, long time. It's your boy John. Fire up the KFS party bus. Robert, KFS does not actually have our own party bus. We probably should have made this clear a long time ago. I'll drive. We are going to need a few for Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. See you there. Hashtag built for this. We learned last night that Robert is going to be in the building for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. He's coming to New York to see that game in person. Very excited for him, and I hope he is really happy. And I like, just a very, very quick aside, like, I can only imagine how many fans there are like Robert who have waited, again, 25 years to come to a game with this magnitude, or games with like Game 1, Game 2, Game 5, whatever. And it will mean so much to them, not only because of how expensive I'm sure the tickets are, but just like, again, that Robert's traveling across the country to come to this game. I really hope with like that, not that the players play for the fans. I don't think they do, but I just hope that all of that is not lost on this group of guys. And, that's it. Manny Campos. Bill Simmons ain't shit. Dave Portnoy ain't shit. Ryan Russillo ain't shit. Brian Scalabrine ain't shit. Boston ain't shit. I have not listened to the Simmons pod today. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I know Zach's on it. It's
got your other boy.
I know. Sean's on it also.
Fantasy's on it.
I know. Maybe I will listen. I'll listen.
Because your boys are on it. There you go. Ariel Helwani, please come on the pod, by the way, to everybody we just mentioned.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Or maybe don't, apparently.
No, come on the pod. Everybody should come on the pod.
Everybody, including Bill. You're invited too.
Bill,
and Portnoy, for that matter. That would be fun.
No, I'm not. Portnoy's not coming on the
Just about pizza. The man can't name a third Celtic. Let's talk to him about pizza.
Fuck that guy. All right. Badowski, what's going on, Badowski? How many times are we going to hear first time since? Thanks to this fucking team. JB deserves this. The team, organization, KFS. I even deserve this. Well, we all deserve this. But yeah, I mean, first time since, it's a lot of that. I mean, even zooming out a little bit, we now have two straight, or like we had a first round appearance, then a gap year, then 2 second round appearances, and now a conference finals. So that's, four series wins in a 3-year span. Like, that was par for the course in the 90s. Like, you had on pick any 3-year span, it was usually going to be about 4 or 5 series wins in the 3-year span, depending on which span you took, obviously. But so this is what it was like And I wonder how it felt back then. I imagine it felt a little bit different for a variety of reasons. I'll just say that. Dom Cappuccini, great seeing you last night, Dom. Something told me the other night that Boston would pay for putting JB on the Jumbotron. And now, JB, with the not so subtle wave bye to the Boston bench. I fucking love my Knicks. Brunson, like, for as serious as he is and for as no nonsense as he is, he has a little bit more showmanship than he probably gets credit for. I'm very happy that he does it in his way and not in like Halliburton's way, because I have all the respect in the world for Halliburton because he backs it up, but like I prefer Brunson. That's all.
He fronts it up because he doesn't do it until after he's done something.
That's very true.
Indeed. Yeah. I love the JB kiss to the crowd whenever he gets a chance to, especially in Detroit, which was pretty sick.
Yeah. Hopefully we get a few more. Colin Reardon, word of the night, series, year, validation. Are we validated as fans? For believing in this team, or is the team validated?
I think if you're a fan, you believe they can beat the Celtics, like fully believe you can beat the Celtics, you're validated. If you're a fan and you were annoyed at how annoyed we were or anybody was at the team during the regular season, you're rewarded for believing in this team that they'd hit a switch come playoff time. And then this roster, they're validated for going all in the way they did, even though they won one more game than they did last season, and they flipped the switch come playoff time.
I'm not going to go as far as you. I think the fan base as a whole has been validated for sticking with this team. Again, not that anybody has any choice. Once you're indoctrinated into sports fandom, like that's it. It's like it's kind of lives in you. Still, I think the fan base in general has been validated for sticking with this team over the years. And I think that's and I mean, Brunson did not need this series to be validated, but he'd be the other guy.
If you became a Knicks fan in 2021, then it's not necessarily validation for you for believing in them. It's been a nice journey. I'm glad you became a Knicks fan now. If you became a Knicks fan any earlier than that, this is validation for believing in this franchise that they would eventually turn it around for sure.
Yeah, we'll see if the front office is fully validated for this summer by the end of the series.
Indeed.
Manny Campos, thank you, Manny. I was told this team needed another transaction cycle to be true contenders. F that. We hear right now, Knicks fans, why not us? Our t-shirt slogan. Actually, no, our t-shirt slogan from last year was why not now?
Yeah.
So,
low-key regretting we put the year on there, because why not now would have just been a great thing to have universally going forward.
Yeah.
I
was one of the people that said they would need another transaction cycle. I mean, look, we'll see. Because if they lose to the Pacers, let's see how first of all, I hope that doesn't happen. Second of all, if it does, let's see how it happens and where the issues are. But there is absolutely a world where their lack of depth in different forms could be a prominent cause of their undoing. In which case, maybe we will not have been that silly to have said they need another transaction cycle. Obviously, I hope that doesn't end up being the case. Eric Silver, this fucking team. I love you, KFS. I'm not ready for our nemesis, TJ McConnell. LOL. I was shocked that TJ McConnell, I think, was their worst on-off guy against Cleveland. He also struggled shooting from the field. Definitely against the Cavs, and I think maybe like the playoffs as a whole. I'm going to pull it up actually right now. But something tells me that TJ McConnell will play well against us in this series.
Next up,
Wilt Moran, Knicks fan since '92 here, purging 25 years of demons tonight. Scott Layden, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Mills. Rest in peace. We're happy all of those folks are with us, but yes, rest in peace to the pain they caused, I guess. Go KFS. Thank you for all that you do. Keep up the great work.
What do you have TJ McConnell at?
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. Against Milwaukee.
Specifically against the Cavs you're talking about. Okay.
It was against the Cavs. So against the Cavs, he had an effective field goal percentage of 51.7. I guess that's not that bad. I thought it was worse.
I was going to say, I went to his splits for the postseason are 51, 50, 92. So
you know what it was? I'm sorry. You know what? His on-off numbers were bad. It's just his
Mm.
on-off numbers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
Mixed
that's
up.
more probably because of Halliburton. Rafa, I had to watch Almonson, Balkman, Curry, and Bargnani play for this team. God, does this feel good? Great team win. Now go beat those effers from Indy. I'm trying to think of those three who induces the most pain. Bargnani, because the trade to get Bargnani was atrocious. Not as detrimental as the Curry trade, but Curry, and nobody wants to remember this, Curry gave them a year in which he was actually a young, exciting player that was like, oh, man, this could actually be something. Bargnani gave you nothing.
Just a highlight of Clyde saying, what is he doing? Which is the only lasting image I have of Andre Bargnani in an
Well, that and him breaking his elbow on that. I mean, that crazy play that has the image has lived on rent free in my head for however 11 years. That that was the end of his season. Juvenile, what's going on, Juvenile? Jekyll showed up, and my God, does this fan base deserve it? 8 more wins, just 8 more wins for this team, and the best coach this fan base has had since Van Gundy. Hashtag fire Tibbs. Yeah, no, I mean, that's not even in dispute. I still feel like Tibbs isn't really getting his flowers quite yet. I think there's still a significant, a not insignificant portion of the fan base that is going into the series worried about Tibbs or feeling like Tibbs could be a liability, which, to me strikes me as a little bit disrespectful, but that's just me.
I think Tom Thibodeau has earned his flowers and will most likely earn all job security from this trip to the conference finals after what he did to the to the Celtics.
We'll see.
There are some things he's going to have to do in this series that I'm not sure if he'll do. That could be X factors, but hopefully he does them as he has adjusted in the past more so than he's gotten credit for.
As long as
I'm sorry if that was disrespectful for me to think.
No, it's not.
As long as a coach has to adjust during the course of
as
a playoff
long
series.
as he keeps doing what he's doing, I think we'll be fine. That's all.
Gotcha. Next up,
Robert Cross, first time, long time. It's your boy John. Forget the championship window. Break down the door. Reach for our ring. The chip will be yours. We will be the champions. Hashtag built for this. I know Robert shared his opinions on our town hall last night that he does truly believe in his heart, in his soul, that this team is going to win the championship this year. I appreciate the optimism. I've picked them in this series. I would be lying if I said watching Oklahoma City last night, who like Minnesota came out like a house on fire, and Oklahoma City did not, and they still won that game by. I mean, it was a 20-point lead when all was said and done. That team is frightening.
Knicks in 5.
Dan Hidalgo, one criticism: take out OG. He's stepping gingerly. We need OG.
Dan, why are you being so disrespectful to Tom Thibodeau?
This is not.
Look how far they got. Let him do his process. And the guys play as often as he lets them play. We have the training staff of the year. Dan, stop being so. Conference finals. This is
not disrespectful.
Do you know how much more information he has than us? Maybe OG has to play 35 minutes.
That's it.
Okay, or else he's worse the next game.
I'm pretty sure he played more than that. I'm pretty sure he played like 37 minutes.
37. That's his season average. You have to make sure he plays extra minutes, even in a 46-point game, Dan. Okay, lesson learned. We forgive you.
No comment.
Mm-hmm.
Brunson Burner 32. Is that Brunson's number?
No, I think that's Mike's number.
11 is the Brunson's number. Again, I don't know numbers.
You don't know? Okay. Yes.
11.
Maybe
I know 11.
11.
I know 11.
What's Josh Hart?
3.
Okay. What's OG? You should know this one. Your favorite Nick was this number.
8.
8. Yeah. Same as Sprewell.
Cat's 32.
Cat's 32.
Bridges is 25.
Yes, 25, because he went from 1 to 25.
Deuce is 2.
Deuce is 2 for Deuce. And then Mitch.
Mitch is 23.
There you go. Those are the 7 that you got to know.
Campaign is 1.
Yes, Campaign is 1. I think that's why Bridges switched from 1 to 25, so his boy could have the number. And then after that, I honestly don't know. So,
yeah. I don't know either. Okay. Hey, John, it's Mike from T Squared. What's going on, Mike? Sorry we didn't get to this the night you put it in. I'm in uncharted territory as I've never seen the Knicks make it to the conference finals. Anything is possible. LOL. Let's go Knicks. Yeah. It's enjoy it. That's all I'll say. Enjoy it and that's it. Enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. It's gonna be stressful, but I'm gonna try to enjoy it.
Good to see you, Mike. It was fun to hang out with you this year at T Squared as well.
Second that. Matt, Aussie Knicks fan. 5 years ago, I was sending in super chats about Elfrid Payton's minutes. Now we're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who would have thought? Jalen Brunson, that's who. Shout out to you. And is there more? Everyone at KFS. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, I mean, look, Elfrid Payton was part of the journey. I know that it doesn't feel like that, and I know there's probably a lot of players that it doesn't feel like they are relevant to what's happening right now. I have an appreciation for every single play. I mean, it's easy to have an appreciation for the RJs and the Quickleys and the Obies, even though he's an enemy right now, of the world, to say nothing of DiVincenzo and like Hartenstein and Randall. But everybody along, Reggie Bullock, Nerlens Noel, like guys like that. Dennis Smith Jr. was on the first Tibbs team. Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox. It's wild that these guys were here, and yet they were.
And began in the rotation, too. It was not just like ceremoniously.
Knox began in the rotation. Dennis Smith Jr. played #meaningful basketball at some point. Frank was never in the fully healthy rotation. He played a little bit.
He was the definition of an 11th man. Or as Tibbs calls it, there you go, situational. Yeah. I believe quickly started to take the Dennis Smith Jr. minutes during the preseason. There's that fun comeback in the preseason.
Well, there was the Game 3 comeback with Quickly, and then he started Game 4 and had us all thinking that we had found the second coming of I don't even know what.
A point guard of the future. That was our first real video that did well on the YouTube channel. Was you talking about whether or not the Knicks had found the point guard of the future?
Right, that's right. Yeah. It's still one of the most read newsletters as well. Okay. Yeah. Walt Clyde Fraser. How does the first Eastern Conference Finals in KFS history sound? I hadn't thought about it that way. I mean, we've been incredibly fortunate because, I know we get a ton of credit because we're all Knicks fans who've been Knicks fans for 20 plus years. I mean, even the young, I guess, except for Chris Persianen, but everybody else has 20 years in the bank or more in the case of like me and DJ and Sean. But we've been incredibly lucky that I started doing the pods in the 2018-19 season. So it was like, that was real. I mean, that wasn't the last bad year. 1920 was the last bad year, but we had a 2-year build up. Andrew, you came aboard in the
Thanksgiving 2019, and then a couple months later, all basketball went away. So we got our sea legs under us, and then, not to say that we were like a fully functional operation once the We Here season started, but we were close enough that within a couple of months of that season starting, we're like, okay, we got a formula here, like we know what we're doing, and it's been mostly good ever since. So yeah. Lido, what's going on, Lido? Torrey Murray and Jeremy Tyler. Man, I love those two. Those are two really good pulls. Of the two, I think I was more excited about Torrey Murray. Jeremy Tyler, I don't think was drafted. I'm going to double check. I mean, Torrey Murray probably wasn't drafted either, but I don't think Jeremy Tyler was drafted. I can double check if you'd like me to put.
I got it right here.
Oh, never mind.
And I'm wrong. Jeremy Tyler, second round pick, 39th overall of the Charlotte Bobcats in the 2011 draft. He played 41 games for the Knicks, averaged 3.6 points per game, and his career high as a Knick was 17 points against Boston in a 114-88 win, January of 2014. How you doing? Good times.
Shout out. There's another one with names from the past.
Alexei Shved and trading picks for Andrea Bargnani. The Bargnani trade
from Davey Vickner, by the way.
David Vickner, sorry.
Yes.
Shved, who gives a shit? Because like Shved was an interesting player, you know. The trade again, I don't have a drink handy, but like hearing like Zach Lowe talk about, because you know Zach was plugged in then, obviously still plugged in now, but like how, you know, people around the league reacted to that trade, and like the notion that like everybody going, but you know, before that trade would have thought like, oh, Bargnani, they're going to have to attach assets to get rid of Bargnani, and we did not. They did not attach assets to get rid of Bargnani. We traded the best player in the deal. We traded Steve Novak.
That we did, indeed.
God, thanks, Davey. Haitian Ferg, love the energy from jump. Game was over early. Missed you, by the way, last night, Haitian. Hope everything's okay. Looks like Tibbs is still here, and I love it. All the doubters have been silenced for now. For now, being the key words. We beat Boston when we needed to. When?
Oh yeah, there's more.
It counted. Let's go Knicks. Yeah, we did.
Congratulations, by the way, Haitian. On I believe just had a son, I believe.
Yep,
so congratulations, Haitian. So I'm assuming that's why
probably why
you weren't there last night at the town hall. But it's been great to see you, one of the KFS OGs, and yeah, congratulations to your family on behalf of Knicks Film School.
Yeah. Nickhead, congrats to all of us, man. Let's fucking go, Knicks. Yes. Congrats to all of us. I'm gonna keep patting ourselves on the back until 8:00 tonight. Then the Pats have to stop. Keith, what's going on, Keith? This means everything to me, man. Thank you for all that y'all do at KFS. We earned this. Well, you're very welcome. It meant everything to me in the moment, obviously. And yeah, it's weird now that we're here at the next round, you know, and again, something that I haven't thought too much about, and I don't want to think about, I'm not going to think about yet, or hopefully ever, is like, what if they lost to Indiana? What would this wind up meaning to, you know, long term? And I guess that would probably depend on the how. And it's just funny because, like, and again, I almost don't want to say this out loud. I do distinctly remember beating the Miami Heat in 2000. And this feeling like that felt like the final war with that opponent. Like there was something about it. It felt like two teams that were kind of coming to the end of their run because of age and whatever else. And that, again, I wasn't in the place where I was like cognizant enough to be like, oh, the Knicks aren't a genuine contender right now because, you know, Shaq and Kobe exist and the Pacers are really good, whatever. I wasn't thinking about that. Like, I wasn't thinking about the fact that Patrick Ewing was whatever he was, 37, 38 years old. I wasn't thinking about any of that shit. I was just thinking about, man, we got the Heat in front of us, and then we have the Pacers in front of us after that. And I wanted to beat the Heat so bad, and it felt so incredible. One of the happiest moments of my life as a Knicks fan, and yet 2000 is like, it's barely a footnote in Knicks history. Like, people don't talk about that team, even though they made the Eastern Conference Finals, and there have not been many of those instances, you know, obviously, since the championship years. So I just, again, I wonder. I hope I don't have to wonder. I'm not going to wonder. I shouldn't say I wonder. I'm not wondering. But yeah. Josh so focused. Never thought I'd be questioning a coach like this in a 30-point blowout. Clinching win over the defending champs, but I am. Thank to the heavens, no starters got hurt in the fourth quarter. We did it. Eastern Conference Finals finally.
Ja, what do we say? We apologize to Tom Thibodeau for questioning his logic. It's clearly logical to leave your starters in until 5 minutes left when the other team pulled their starters with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. We accept your apology on behalf of Tom Thibodeau.
Terrible.
Yes, it's terrible for you to question Tom Thibodeau. It's so the information he has, folks. There's a chart.
Just
Every player has to it's like Fanatics where they have like the bar that you have to clear to see if your bet actually hit the checkpoint. That's what you're doing. You're not letting him clear all those bars. So it's all right. Lesson learned. Thank you, Ja.
Barry Craver, what's going on, Barry? Everyone in this chat should throw $5 to KFS to celebrate this milestone for the team. So
we'll call it that milestone for the team. That works.
Barry, I just want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to everybody who contributes because again, it's like, we need this to keep the lights on here and it allows us to do what we do and we love to do. But like, I've lost count of the people over the years who have like either said to me in person or emailed or messaged, whatever, like, oh, I've never seen it in a super chat. I'm sorry. Like, man, I cannot emphasize enough. Every person who watches, every person who listens, every person who consumes any ounce of our content, like it's just the greatest gift. And yeah, that's all. Hi, Sue. Tears in my eyes, man. We here. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a special night.
Yeah, you weren't the only one, Hush. Yeah,
obviously. Drew P. Tibbs broke the Shabbat curse. Oh yeah, that's right. First conference finals for Elijah Shabbat. In his fourth conference semis. We went through this.
So.
Yeah, I forget what the number is, but he's been to conference semis a lot.
He was on the conference semis with the Clippers and they lost, the Nets and they lost, the Suns and they lost, and the Sixers and they lost. So we were the fifth, I think.
He went to the conference semis with the Sixers?
I believe so. Wasn't he on the Sixers team that made the conference semis and lost to the Heat?
Hold on, I have it right here. Eastern Conference semis, lost when he was with Brooklyn. Won this one. Lost when he was with the Clippers, lost when he was with the Suns. Twice he lost when he was with the Suns. He never made it to the conference semis when he was with the Sixers.
Huh. Never mind then. Yeah. So this was the fifth, the fourth.
It was the fifth, but two were with Phoenix.
Ah, okay. So that's what I'm missing. Okay, got it. Congrats,
also,
Tibbs.
Yeah, and also my favorite Josh Hart rebound. Yes, it was the coolest Josh Hart. I don't know if it was the most impactful Josh Hart rebound. It was definitely the coolest. Rob DeLusma, gentlemen, I think I speak for everyone in this chat room when I say F the Celtics. Yeah, although I do feel a little bit bad for them now. Them, not their fans. To be clear, not their fans or any media member who like supports them generally or like favors them or thought that their shit doesn't stink. I feel bad for the players and to some extent the organization because I think they've done. You know me. You know how much I admire process. You know how much I admire like real deft team building. And there's obviously now there's going to be a lot of talk about, well, what are how valuable is that Porzingis contract? Or how valuable is that Drew Holiday contract? Or how valuable is that Jaylen Brown contract? And there's going to be a lot of negativity not a lot of negativity. There'll be some level of negativity surrounding those deals. And like the Celtics really went all in and they, maybe whatever. I've called them the perfect basketball team for 2 years now. And I think they should be commended for building it. And I'm happy they're eliminated, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's tough shit. I don't know what to say.
It's well said. Very honorable of you. Can we take the next 10 seconds to laugh at the fall of the Boston Celtics? This is excluding Jason Tatum. I genuinely feel bad for Jason Tatum. But to everybody else in that organization, to Brad Stevens, to Joe Mazzulla, to all the players still remaining, to whoever is the new owner of the Celtics and to the Celtics media mafia that continues to perpetuate that they're the hottest things in sliced bread.
The media mafia
minus 750 and you lost. Up 20 in the first 2 games and you lost. Up 14 in the first 5 games and you lost 3 of them. There goes college soccer, you dorks. Next up.
That was good. I hope that doesn't come back to bite us. Hudsu, petty and waited years for this. Your New York Knicks have officially made it farther than any. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, nobody's brought this up. That's a sign of how far we've come. Anyway, have made it farther than KD, Kyrie, New Jersey Nets. God, this feels good, man. Let's go Knicks. I thought about it yesterday. And again, my instant thought was the fact that like nobody is bringing that up shows that like that, you know, needing to needle the Nets, like we don't have to do that anymore. Like the Knicks are in such a good place, and the Nets are obviously, I mean, who the hell knows what the Nets are going to do? But I don't feel bad for the Nets, that's for sure.
Speaking of laughing, all right, then the last one,
Andrew Claudio. Okay, now we're on to Indiana.
This got missed at the very end, so it's a perfect way for this extended edition of the post game to end.
Do you think they're going to win tonight?
Yes,
you do. I don't want to sit here and say the winner tonight determines the series. Although I kind of feel that way. No, it's just a vitally important game. Game 1 is so important.
They've won their last 4 game ones.
That's right. The last game when they lost. Well, no.
Yeah, it was the Heat game.
Yes, that's right. The Heat. There's been 4. I know it was the Heat series. I forgot there's been 4 since then. Jesus. Yeah, and I mean in general, they've been good in game 1s. Even the Hawks game 1, they were again. I'm going like Tibbs era. They were good at. I'm trying to remember how they actually played in the Miami game 1.
They were up.
I don't
big
remember
in the
that
first half. Couldn't hit a 3, and it's why the pack the paint strategy that Spoelstra used was so effective. Julius didn't play. Obi went 4 of 11 from 3, if I remember.
I'm looking at it right now. Obi was 4 of 11 from 3. Yeah, so they were 7 for 34 from 3. Brunson 0 for 7. Hart 0 for 4. Barrett 1 for 5. Quickly 1 for 4. Grimes 1 for 3. The Heat, meanwhile, didn't shoot that much better. They were 13 to 39 from 3. I mean, it was a freaking slog of a game, but it was close in the fourth quarter.
That's when Butler got hurt, and then the Knicks didn't attack him down the stretch. It was close down the stretch for sure. So Jessica is saying that she paid for a power chat in playback, but it didn't get read. I hope it's on the screen. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Before halftime, Jessica wrote, I hope Draymond is enjoying Carl be tough and get to the Eastern Conference Finals from his loser-ass couch. F you, Draymond. Let's go Knicks. I like it. All right. That's it for us. Let's get a win tonight. As always, I think we'll be able to tell a lot from the first 5 minutes or so of the game. I know the fans will be ready. I know I'll be as ready as possible. We will be on playback, so come watch along with us on playback. Or if you can't, playback does not work for you, which I know some people it doesn't work for. You could just hop on the Knicks Film School YouTube channel and watch the game, and then you can watch along on your own, obviously. But yeah, until then, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll catch you later. Peace out.